in what has to be one of the biggest weeks in all of sports, and that is, of course, Super Bowl week. I mean, over 130 million people are going to watch this sporting event on Sunday. It is the number one sporting TV event in our country now. That's what makes this thing absolutely sensational and how it's grown. Last year, the Philadelphia Eagles had the most viewed Super Bowl of all time with 127 million plus. This year, they're expecting about 130 to 135 million people that are going to tune in to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. Seahawks and Patriots, baby. I tell you, I can't wait. There's so many storylines around it. And, of course, locally in Philadelphia, the Vic Fangio saga starts. You know, maybe Adam Schefter, when he was on The Fanatic in Philly, maybe this is kind of what he was eyeballing, that there was some rumblings going on that potentially Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, might call it a career. He is 67 years of age. He's been doing this thing 40 plus years. How much longer is he going to do it? By the way, if you're an Eagle fan right now, this is the last hurrah for Fangio. Even if this is the last, you better be preparing. 2027, you're not going to have Vic Fangio as your D coordinator. You know, I heard somebody make this comment, and I was going back and forth with Hugh Douglas, and I was texting him, and I said the same thing he said to me. Shit, if you're deciding whether or not to retire, you're already retired. When players go back and forth like this, and you're thinking about checking out, dude, you're already half checked out. Now, I'm not going to tell you Vic's going to give you a half-ass effort in this upcoming year because the dude's not made like that. Sills, like I told Xander, if Sirianni flops again, well, it's Josh Gazard will be the Eagles' next head coach. No way. No way is Josh Gazard going to be the next Eagle head football coach. I like your thinking process because he's a play caller. If this kid, Sean Mannion, if he fails, that's your next OC. I think they're hedging their bets on the guy. They're praying the guy turns out to be great so they don't have to call up a guy from the reserve. Your reserve is Josh Gazard. This is not a really solid plan they have at offensive coordinator. I'm sorry. I don't see it like everyone else does, that a guy who's 24 months old as a coordinator, that this thing is going to pan out and be something special. Hey, it might, and I might be 1,000% wrong. But when's the last time you ever seen a guy with zero experience at calling the plays go on to win a Super Bowl? Have you ever seen that? And it's not like you're building the team with the kid. The team's built. It's already built. Sills, it's the offseason. I was watching Carson Wentz. Boy, his arm was special and attacked the middle of the field in 17. Carson Wentz was a great thrower from the pocket. Here, like I said to you before about a guy like Carson Wentz. By the way, I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Super Chats go to the top. And also, please hit that like button, okay? Get this. This is the same dude that told me that Kevin Petula would be an easy transition. Yeah, okay, guy. How'd that pan out, kid? No, yeah, let me watch M. Reyes change history and tell you that he never thought Kevin Petula was going to be a top-flight coordinator. It's the same asshole that told you that Keely Ringo would be an all-pro. Okay? What happened to him, Sills? Who are you referring to? He got demoted? Okay, well, that's called not working and not panning out. Sills wasn't play calling plays until he was a Giant DC. Actually, Bill Belichick on defense had been putting the defenses together for Parcells when Parcells was the D coordinator for the New York Giants. And the reason that Bill Parcells elevated Belichick to the DC position was because he had already been installing plays and calling plays while Bill was on the side of just putting the defenses together. It's one of the reasons why Willington Mayer hired Parcells, is because of the way that he was more of a CEO type coach. Bill was already, ask Lawrence Taylor, Bill was already calling plays when he was the linebacker coach in New York. Ray Perkins hired him. It wasn't Parcells. Parcells was the guy that went to Ray and said, I think this guy should be calling plays. He's a savant. And that's why he got elevated immediately as soon as Bill got the job. Okay? Sills, who was the caboose in the Patriots Super Bowls, Brady or Bill? None of those guys. Those guys were hand in hand with one another. Brady's nowhere without Bill. And Bill's nowhere without Brady. Bill Walsh is nowhere without Montana. Jimmy Johnson's nowhere without Troy Aikman. All goes hand in hand, my friends. Sills, when we have a new coaching staff in 2027, we're going to get to that here in a minute. By the way, this offensive coordinator conversation, we're going to get to it. He's 24 months old. I mean, whatever. I don't care how you paint it. Inexperience, never done it. Let's see. You sit here on February 2nd, it's nobody, hey, we're not ripping it. We're just telling you what it is. I don't know. There's no clarity in your offensive coaching staff right now. Zero. You can paint it up, make it sound whatever way you want. You have no certainty on offense. You got certainty on defense. And that may change here in a minute. Make Clint the DC. I'm for it. Love Clint, keep him. Well, here, I will give you a little bit of insight to why Clint Hurt didn't get the defensive coordinating job with the Miami Dolphins. We know this firsthand. Clint Hurt wanted more time because Vic Fangio gave the Eagles a week on his decision. He told them that he'd come back within a week on what his decision would be if he was going to retire or not. Now, by all reports, it sounds like he's coming back for 1 year, but that could still change. So what the Eagles did and what Vic said, hold up on that. Clint Hurt's going to be your defensive coordinator in 2027. He is your defensive coordinator. He will be the defensive coordinator in 2027. No matter what. Vic's back for 1 more year. That's why he didn't get the job. He wanted another week. Jeff Hafley, the brand new head coach of the Dolphins, didn't want to wait. So Drew Rosenhaus and all those guys said, okay, we're going back to Philly. He didn't turn the job down, but it's wording. And so for me also, I want to give you a little clarity. I had Craig Carton on my Sports Grid show on the weekend. John Gruden was not offered the OC job, but there was a report in Tampa when Gruden went on the radio, it was a lawyer's answer. So Craig Carton had called the New York Jets, and he confirmed it with Aaron Glenn that he did call John Gruden. So remember, you got to listen to the wording. John Gruden was never offered the offensive coordinating job. However, they did reach out to him. So it's wording and how you have to listen to these guys. The Eagles are professional PR experts. Words matter, especially when it comes to perception, especially when it comes to the NovaCare building. So remember how this story is going to play out here. Okay? As I said, Super Bowl 60 week, that's not true. John Gruden said he was never offered the offensive coordinating job. Craig Carton on my program, the WFAN Afternoon show host, confirmed it and said, yes, Woody Johnson told him that the Jets had reached out to him and that Aaron Glenn personally called him. Whatever you want to believe, I don't care. That's a you thing, my friend. We just relay the stories because we happen to know some folks and we talk to people. So now, Let's get into this here. Vic Fangio. Let's go here. Oh, sorry, Bruce. All good. My bad. My bad, Bruce. Appreciate you doing this. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button here. Got you, Bruce. All good, brother. Vic Fangio, is he going to retire? Well, how about this? Vic Fangio is either going to retire this week or in a year from now. He's not staying longer than this year. This is it. This is it. Okay? This is the last year you're having Vic. Happy Monday, Big Sills. How you doing? Is the 04 team better overall, even though the 24 team won? Is that an indictment on Reed at the time? I think it's an indictment on Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens. More so than anything. You had the better quarterback than the 24 team. You had the better receiver. You had better skilled players. Now, you didn't have Devontae on the other side, but you had a better quarterback. You had a more skilled quarterback. I don't know if you had more of a leader in Donovan McNabb. And you get this. You had a better coach. You had a better coordinator defensively. No, not than the 24 team. I'll take that back. You had a better coach, better OC, better quarterback, skill set wise, better wide receiver than he did the 2024 team. Okay? The loss of Vic Fangio, what would it mean? It's not so much that he picks talent and that he can look at a guy like Zach Bond and do this. I want to show you what you're going to miss when this guy does call it, either this year or a year from today. Okay? I want to show you what he does. He'll look at a guy like Zach Bond and go, yeah. He'll look at someone and go, no. Yeah, I think this guy can do it. I think he's got the skill set. Do you understand that he's a 20-foot guy? All he has to do is see 20 feet of film on you, and he can determine and decipher whether or not you could play the position. Then he puts you in a position of success. Look what he did with Adoree Jackson. He knew if he increased the volume of pass rush and got more pressure on the quarterback, that was going to help the back end, and it did by the end of the year. This guy not only has a scheme, I think his scheme is overrated. I think how Vic uses the players in the scheme, that's his skill. He could look at a guy like Sam Mills, and he could look at a guy like Nakobe Dean and go like this. Here's what he can do. Here's what he can't do. Here's what we have to prep for. He's injured. We got to make sure that we give guys behind him as many reps as Nakobe Dean gets. So when this guy's not playing and he's not in the game, the drop-off is not going to be because we haven't properly prepared these guys. Vic's preparation of preparing a defense and evolving a defense, that's what you're going to miss. I mean, he doesn't look at the back of the jersey and sees the names. Okay? He looks at your skill set, what you can and can't do. That's exactly correct. It comes with time and multiple players that you've evaluated. Watching this guy do this, watching Ricky Williams do this, watching Ricky Jackson do this, watching a guy like Pat Swilling do this, watch a guy like Fred Warner. When you're around so many great players, you take a little bit of pieces and you look at this, like Zach Bond's one of his greatest players. I would put Zach Bond in the conversation of, remember something about Sam Mills. Sam Mills was cut. How many times? 5? I know the Browns cut him a bunch of times. I think the Ravens cut him. I think the Steelers may have cut him. There were a bunch of teams that cut Sam Mills. What happens? Well, he ends up going to the USFL. He gets a chance. Vic sees him, puts him in. All of a sudden, everyone sees that because he's so short. Well, this guy can play. What did he do as soon as he became the linebacker coach? like in the mid-'80s. He brought Sam Mills to New Orleans with him, and he created that great linebacking core that had Ricky Jackson and all those great players. And I'm giving you a history lesson on Fangio because he's evolved to where he is right now. The knowledge that guy has, he's like a teacher at Harvard. He could teach a class on, look at a game film on a guy and just go, yeah, that guy can play, that guy can't play. I think that guy struggles with his feet. He takes false steps. He's not great. It's an innate ability to be able to evaluate talent and put him in the right spots. So how confident are you that Big Clint could be the DC in 2027? I want to show you something about Clint Hurt. I'm going to get back in here on Vic here in a minute. And I'm going to show you something here. So Clint Hurt, I've known since he was a kid. He's born in New York. He was a graduate assistant at the University of Miami in 2003 and 2004, which meant that he coached Vince Wilfork. And he worked and was around, and he became an assistant coach. Then he went, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he went to FIU. Then in 2006, he was the defensive line coach. I believe that was for Randy Shannon, who was a former teammate of mine. He was there from 06 to 09, and that's how I got to become more involved with him. Then he went up, and if we're not mistaken there, that 2014 Bears team, if you go there, and will somebody tell me, let me double check here. 2014 Bears coaching staff. If I'm not mistaken, that was my friend Mark Tressman, who was the head football coach and hired him because he was the defensive line coach at the University of Miami. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how he got that job, was he went up there with Tressman. And he became the defensive line coach when he was on that staff. And that's how that progressed. Then he went to the Seahawks with Pete Carroll. He was there from 17, 18, 19, 20. He was there 5 years. And he worked there. And then he became the coordinator for Pete in his final season when he was in Seattle. So the relationship and him moving up, he's created himself one of the best resumes out there for his opportunity to become the defensive coordinator. Now, he was in line to get that Miami job, but he needed a week because why? Everybody's waiting to see what Vic is going to do. Hey, by the way, that's not a certainty that Vic is coming back. I don't know who's telling you that. I mean, that's not what I'm hearing. And by the way, I'm not telling you I'm hearing that Vic is retiring. But what I am telling you is that's not a given. That's not a given that dude is coming back. I don't know who told you that. Okay, I mean, I don't know who's saying that right now, but I mean, at the end of the day, here, guys, that's not a given. That's not a given right now that he's coming back. I don't know who's telling you that. So have you ever thought about coaching? Yes. I was offered a job with Butch. I was going to go to work with the Raiders. Back in the day, I even typed out a resume, and I decided to stay with broadcasting. It probably maybe made a mistake because Al Davis was going to take me, and we were going to go work in the personnel department with Ken Herrick. Then I was going to go work in that environment with Al. Al wanted me part of the program. Al hired me to be on the broadcast team. Okay? When you call it a retirement scare, it means the threat is over for a moment. What? What are you talking? Dude, I have no idea how you speak. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Retirement fear? What, a guy deciding at 67 years of age if he wants to continue or not? That's not a scare, dude. That's reality. I have no idea what you're talking about. My question, Sills. So Clint DC, I'd be good with that. He'll have Pete Carroll, and also he'll have Vic Fangio tendencies. I think that's a good combination. I think Clint Hurt would make a great defensive coordinator here. No matter what you are, no matter who you decide on, unless it's somebody skilled, you're going to take a massive drop. You know what I mean? You're going to take a massive drop here. Sales coaching, he'd be calling everyone a fuckbag. No, not how you motivate people. No way. And now you motivate people, coach them. Do this. This is what you're not doing. Okay? So wait a minute here. Who's they? Who's they? Who's they said he's coming back? I heard that the Eagles haven't confirmed it yet. Who's they? Like, who's they? M. Reyes, who's they? Who's they? Who's they? The Eagles haven't said shit yet. Who's they? Anything? Who's they? I'm curious. I'd like to see it. Who's they? Everyone but you. Who's they? Where is that confirmed that he's back? Where is that confirmed? Where is that confirmed? Show me where that's confirmed. I'd like to see it. That's not what the people down in Miami were telling me. Why Clint Hurt took his name out of consideration for the Dolphins DC job. Tell me who's they. I want to see that the Eagles confirm this. Show me where. Okay, where, Prince? Where is it? Sports Illustrated. Okay, so let me see here. NBC Sports. Vic Fangio confirmed not retiring. NBC Sports considered retiring. Is currently That's not confirmation, jackass. Holy shit. No wonder hey, you sit on that side, guy. I'll be over here. You know what you're talking about. Nobody's confirmed anything. And the Eagles, from what I understand, have not confirmed shit. The Eagles have not confirmed that he's back. L, dude, as usual. 0 for 88. You're in one of those wonderful, like, Bryce Harper swing and misses. This guy will try to tell you everything and make it sound better because at the end of the day, nobody's confirmed shit yet. Who's they? I heard Johnny Mack this morning. Johnny Mack said it's 80% in his eyes. He thinks he's back. It's not a confirmation. I even heard John say the Eagles haven't confirmed nor denied. So, Sills, this could be Cardinals D-line at 26. Nolan Sweat, Ruben Bain. Also, I think they draft target that kid Proctor or Lomu in round 1. I think the Cardinals are going to do some good things, man. Show me that. I just looked at it, but was convinced to stay. Bro, I read that. Okay, we're not going there the rest of the day. The one guys that is not a big drop-off from Fangio is Jim Schwartz. Yeah, but Jim Schwartz runs a completely different defense. Okay? They run a completely different style of defense. Vic is more inside guardrails. Okay. Okay. And get this. However, sources, that's not confirmed. Sources, bro, that's made up. Headlines are written by editors, not columnists. My God. Still, should Howie consider Schwartz? Okay. Carter would destroy he would be absolutely insane in that too. Let's see here. Less margin of error. That's right. In Schwartz's defense. Correct. And Reyes, trust me, you're done today with me because you're an idiot. Gotcha, man. I don't know. Schwartz needs a top 3 pass rusher and 2 bookend corners. Well, Schwartz, in the job that he did in Cleveland, was spectacular. Just a spectacular job of coaching. And really in an organization that was, quite frankly, nowhere on offense. So here, okay? Let me go this here. Why is Vic thinking about retiring? Is it age? Or is it the Eagle front office? What do you think? 67 years old. Age or the Eagle front office? What do you think? Don't you think with all the indecision that's made in the front office, don't you think that that's got to wear on him a little? Crazy, I know. Thank you, brother. How about this? Why is it so important for I heard John McMullen say this, and I thought this was a wild statement. They were never going to give Christian Parker the defensive coordinating job. They wanted somebody with more experience. Well, why did you hire someone with zero experience on offense? It's clearly Nick. Nick's your OC. The guys who you hire as offensive coordinator are in name alone. They're in name alone. Because they hire no one with experience for a reason. They don't want anybody coming in here messing up Nick's offense. That's why you can hire a nobody. Hey, listen, when I say a nobody, hey, the guy's got really a lot of great people talking about him. Let me say this to you. When you don't have a resume and people are talking highly about you, that's something to be concerned about. I heard the same bullshit about Kevin Patullo on how great he was in the room. His play designs, how great he was with his play designs. I heard he was there 5 years, working with Jalen, being part of the building of the offense. Everyone likes him. The thing shit the bed. I mean, just because you're in the building or just because people like you, can you call plays? Yes or no? Very simple. It's very simple, dude. Can you call plays? Yes or no? And you got to ask yourself, once again, you really have to ask yourself, okay, well, I mean, why is Vic considering retirement? I mean, it's clearly got to be because of what's going on in the front office. You hire all these nobodies, and at the end of the day, on defense, you hired all these skilled guys. Clint Hurt was a former defensive coordinator. Bobby King is a respected linebacker coach. You had an up-and-coming guy in Christian Parker. You know what you have? on offense, you got Nick and his boys and Jeff Stoutland. That's not a very good offensive staff. You got exceptional players. Get this. I'm starting to think that the coaching staff's more limited than the quarterback is. I think Vic doesn't want to lose half his guys to free agency and do what he had to do the last 2 years and is build the strong defense from week one. Oh, he's gonna. Dude, they're going to lose to Kobe Dean. Are you bringing back Adoree Jackson? Wow. You're not bringing back Jalen Phillips? I heard that number that people were throwing around this morning. Yeah, well, guess what? Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus, you could tell everybody what that number is. Wait till you get out in the open market and see what the goods and services are. So, you know what you have other agents doing right now? You have other agents propping up people, and what you're doing is, the guy's around $17 million. So you mean to tell me, John McMullen said that Jalen Phillips is better than Josh Sweat. Shit, Josh Sweat got more money. So you think Jalen Phillips is going to get less money than Josh Sweat? No way. Not happening. Once again, Eagles have some dead cap money they got to take care of with them void years. They got a shitload of money they got to hurry up on. And I wonder what Vic's going to do. I don't think he's getting 30. He's getting Milton Williams money. Nick is not the problem. It's a limited quarterback who sucks at football. I disagree with that. I think the quarterback is limited, but I think the one thing the quarterback knows, if he plays within a structured system that doesn't turn the football over, the talent level around him will carry the team to victory, which it has. His numbers are not very good. They're not high-volume numbers. They never will be. But the one thing that he does do, Jalen Hurts is a situational player. In situations, he does make plays. Is he a rhythm player where you see play after play after play after play? No way. But he's a guy that's going to make like 4 or 5 plays in a game. That's going to be good enough to win a ball game for you with the talent level that you have on the football team. Nick's not the problem. The why do coordinators consistently get fired? If Nick was so good, you either retain him or they come back the following year or they become head football coaches. Pick one. I mean, you ever notice when the Eagles fail, and that's 11 wins. So let me ask you this. You fired 2 coordinators with football teams that win 22-12. Is that right? 10 games over 500. You fired coordinators, and you didn't bring them back to try to develop them as well. Why? Because you're impulsive. Whatever money they give Phillips, they should have gave to Milton Williams. I pray Milton Williams goes on to win the MVP award for the Patriots. I always question that move. I remember saying it in the offseason. When you guys were telling me, hey, can't sign everybody, Milton Williams is not everybody. Milton Williams is a third-round draft choice that you guys had that got better and better and better and better and better and was getting better and better and better and was a force in the Super Bowl with Josh Sweat. He was getting better and better and better and better and better and elevating his game. He was outpacing Jalen Carter by the end of the year and into the Super Bowl. Right now, he had a better year this year, and he missed some games. He was a better ball player. How many people in here believe Jalen Carter was a better ball player this year than Milton Williams was? I mean, if you do, you're lying. By the way, that $26 million, he lived up to it. He lived up to it. I think he completely lived up to that. And then more. As a matter of fact, Carter lived down to it. And Jordan Davis, he should have been doing this shit 2 years ago. You know what everyone is doing right now on Jordan Davis? How many years has he been an Eagle? Kyle, how many years has he been an Eagle? So in a year that they pick up the 5th-year option on him, he decides to show up in shape? Okay. Hey, guys, it takes no athletic ability to be in shape. It just takes want to and desire to want to be in shape and to have your ass ready to rock. I think Clint had a lot to do with that. So wait a minute. Jordan Davis has been in the league 4 years, going into his 5th. It took him 5 years to figure that out? Shit, good for him. Good for him. So in year 4, he shows up. Solid. Like you're on a GI Bill. Hey, don't worry about it. You could spend the first 3 years shitting the bed and playing half the plays and being a first and second down guy. But hey, when your contract, and they don't want to give you a contract extension, and I still think in many ways he's a 2-down player. Milton Williams is a better ball player. And here's why. You can play him anywhere. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think a football player is more valuable if you can play him in multiple spots and get great effort? Or do you think that a guy's more valuable if he's pretty good in one spot, can't play multiple spots in the NFL? Especially when you have a salary cap and especially when you have only 53 guys on a team. What do you think is more important to a guy like Vic Fangio? Versatility, maybe? Being able to move multiple guys around? No, right? Hey, I'm going to tell you this. And let me ask you this, and I thought this morning when this story about Vic potentially retiring. Do you think that Vic took more of an ass on what Howie did by ripping that number 1 unit apart from him? What do you think? Number 1 defense in pro football. You had so many young, talented guys. Sweat. And by the way, if you're Vic and you see that other side underperforming, aren't you pissed off? Wait a minute. They pay my side no money. They pay everyone on that side all the money. And they bring in trash cans for me to try to make chicken shit into chicken soup. And they want me to do that shit again? Really? Take away the big play versus the Rams in 04 division round, and Carter's been average in 3 straight years. Davis has improved. Davis is a good guy I keep. Hey, look, I'm not moving off of Jalen Carter. But Jalen Carter has been, but there's no question, Jordan Davis is going one way, and Carter is staying stagnant, in my opinion. In 21, Jonathan told Nick to step away from play calling and let Shane handle it. In 23, Brian Johnson had Jalen in the MVP race until Nick's decision imploded the season. In 25, Nick got involved, etc. Prince, I'm not telling you that I don't believe that Nick. I don't care what anybody says. I think Nick Sirianni is a decent coach. Exceptional? No. Does he suck? No. I know people that revere the guy, but in a different system. I think he's okay. I don't think he's exceptional. I don't think your quarterback's exceptional. I think your general manager's exceptional. I think the talent on your team is exceptional. You want me to go down exceptional? Here, I'll give you exceptional. Jeff Stoutland's exceptional. Vic Fangio's exceptional. Bobby King's exceptional. Clint Hurt's exceptional. A.J. Brown's exceptional. Mulata, Lane, exceptional. I don't think Landon is right now, and I don't think Cam is. As a matter of fact, I don't think Barkley is right now. I don't think Goddard is. I think Jalen Phillips is really good. I think that Carter is underachieving. I think Davis is a good player. Exceptional? No. Do I think Campbell is good? I think Campbell, for who he is a good ball player. Can he be exceptional? Yes. Is Bond exceptional? Yes. Is Q exceptional? Yes. Is Cooper exceptional? Yes. The rest of these guys, you can have them. I think Alex Hunt's a really good player. Exceptional? No. You really don't have any exceptional players at the edge. You got one really good one, and you got one that could be a really good one. Other than that, it's not what you think. Do you think your depth is exceptional at D tackle when you got to put a 37-year-old Brandon Graham down inside? That's not exceptional. Do you think you have depth in your offensive line when every guy you drafted a year ago made no impact on your football team whatsoever? That's not exceptional. I mean, you got a lot of decisions to make. And I'm talking about Vic calling it and wanting to retire. He looks at all this. Let me tell you this. For him to consider retiring, you can't think that he thinks he's leaving like the Eagles in a good place. I think he's leaving his defense in a pretty good place. But once again, this is going to depend on what Howie Roseman wants to do. So here, let's go on that side of the ball for Vic. You take Jalen Phillips off that defense, and you take Jacoby off that defense. Okay? How you think you're going to be going into 26? Get this, Marcus. He ain't leaving maybe right now, but he's leaving at the end of the year of next. He's giving you one more year. You think this guy's going to be – he will not be the coordinator in 27. At most, he'll be 26. He's leaving. It's just one day.